170 years ago, almost to this very day, the publishing firm of Chapman and Hall released a book by a 31-year-old author that tells the story of an embittered old miser who's haunted and eventually converted by the ghost of his late business partner and three other spirits one mysterious Christmas Eve. That book, of course, was Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, which remains among the most popular tales the author ever penned. Adapted in radio and in movies and set on the stage, Dickens' Christmas Carol is almost impossible to avoid, especially this time of year. In "Bah Humbug," the exclamation of the story's irascible protagonist Ebenezer Scrooge is known by people all the world round. What's less well known, well, at least outside of Lancaster, is that 14 years later, in 1857, Dickens said another ghost story at the Royal King's Arms Hotel, just a short walk from where I'm standing, and where Dickens, one evening, imagined himself to have been visited by the ghost of a prisoner who was executed here at Lancaster Castle some 100 years earlier. Dickens had stayed at the King's Arms Hotel on his way to Doncaster, having been up in the north in Cumberland on a walking tour with his friend and fellow author Wilkie Collins, and Dickens and Collins later published an account of that journey called The Lazy Tour of Two Idle Apprentices, which is one of a suite of texts we're working with at Lancaster University as part of the Spatial Humanities Project's research into travel and tourism in the Lake District during the Victorian period. Dickens was clearly taken with Lancaster, and particularly with the King's Arms Hotel, where he might have heard the story of Edward Hardman, a shoemaker from Charley, who was executed here in the castle 2 weeks earlier and might have been held in one of these cells. We don't know for sure, and we don't know if it was Hardman's story that inspired Dickens to pen his tale of a ghostly encounter. However that might be, if this Christmas you're sitting by the fireside and looking for a good ghost story with a Lancaster twist, I highly recommend picking up Collins and Dickens' Lazy Tour of Two Idle Apprentices and turning to the fourth section to read the story of the bridal chamber in the Royal King's Arms Hotel.